David Perlman, when I visited his table, said to some of the younger people that were there, "Don't eat while the dean's talking. That is bad advice. I'd like you to continue to enjoy and finish your meals. Whether or not you speak and continue to talk is up to you. I'll let you be the judge of whether my remarks are worth hearing." 100 years ago, my grandfather, Clarence Hagner, lived in the Bay Ridge Klamath Swedish orphanage along with 3 surviving brothers. His widowed mother, Edith, my great-grandmother, worked as a housekeeper in the orphanage so that the family could live under one roof together. Clarence Hagner and Edna Shermer, a young nurse from a big family and a small farm, both joined the Navy so they could see the world. My grandparents, Clarence and Edna, met in the Brooklyn Navy Yard Hospital. My mother, Lillian, was born here in 1932 at the height of the Great Depression. Now, I mention this personal history because today is a celebration which we intend to continue throughout the year of 2015, of how far we all have come and where we are poised to go. For truly, there's much to celebrate for each and every one of us, and collectively for our great law school. My family story is not unique. It's a Brooklyn story, and it's an American story, the story of a family in a few generations moving from a difficult life in an orphanage at one end of Brooklyn to a distinguished law school in the heart of the legal community, in the largest and once again most vibrant borough, in the most exciting city in the Empire State, and the greatest nation on the planet. Educational opportunities afforded by this great nation made the difference. This certainly was the case for my father, Nick, who used the GI Bill to pay for college, and also for my wife, Marla, whose family story traces her grandpa Dave's odyssey as a 12-year-old in eastern Poland, traveling alone across Europe to a tailor shop in Baltimore, to his 3 children, including Marla's dad, Ephraim, who all 3 earned their graduate degrees in nuclear physics and engineering before their 23rd birthdays, one generation removed from the shtetl. Family stories like mine abound in this country and in this room. I know that many of you have equal, if not more, compelling stories and have your families traveled a far more difficult path than mine. I know that because I've read, for example, the stories of our alums like Jerry Kremer or like Bob Kaufman in their books, and I've learned about the stories about giants who have graduated from Brooklyn Law School, like Judge Leo Glasser, who is with us here today, or like Mayor Dinkins. Our individual stories and paths have brought us here together, and as I look out at all of you, I think with great pride and satisfaction about the accomplishments that graduates of our great law school have achieved, and how far our law school has come from its earliest days. Brooklyn Law School has always been and still is a pioneer in legal education. From the very beginning of our 114th year history, Brooklyn Law School opened our doors to women, minorities, international students, children of working family, and less advantaged, and we did so long before other institutions followed suit. Brooklyn Law School has been a gateway to opportunity for generations. Today, we're known for producing extraordinary graduates like you who have that extra Brooklyn edge in public service, in government, in the private sector, and in commerce. And just this last week, our clinical faculty reported to me how often employers tell them that our students are the best and that they regularly hold places open for our externs and interns because our students excel at work. And take a close look at those current students. They are marvelously diverse and an accomplished group. Students in our first year JD class alone come from 5 continents and 33 countries, from 33 United States, along with the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico. Collectively, they speak 38 languages and dialects other than English. Each student doesn't speak 38 languages, but collectively, the incoming class covers 38 languages. And in addition, I think this is a remarkable fact, in addition, 61% of our entering class has had work experience before law school, which I can assure you makes a big difference in their maturity and their approach to their studies. And 46 of our first-year JD students hail from Brooklyn, which we can all agree is now the center of the universe. These students will go on to excel in law school, pass the bar, and get meaningful jobs. And Brooklyn Law School will continue to offer a rigorous and innovative education that sets a very high bar for excellence. And as you all know, we have never been about giving everyone a ribbon on field day. Oh, come on, that's pretty good. Openness to change, yeah, right, thanks. That's charity claps or don't count, you know. Openness to change, bold change, is an essential part of our tradition and a core value that drives much of what we do. Now, it sounds like Yogi Berra, but it's true. At Brooklyn Law School, change is nothing new. We're continuing the BLS tradition of making legal education more accessible with our trailblazing tuition reduction plan that is part of a package of scholarship and aid initiatives focused on making law school more affordable. We've turned the broken business model of legal education on its head, and we spark a national conversation on an issue that affects us all. We've also launched several cutting-edge initiatives that were only possible because of financial support of generous and visionary alumni. Among those are the incredible Center for Urban Business Entrepreneurship, CUBE, which is funded by our honorees Larry Feldman, his wife Diane, and one of last year's honorees, trustee Deborah Humphreys, and her husband David, along with BLS alumni Evan Azrillian, his father, Erwin Cohen, and Deborah Regal, all of whom are here today with us, indicating their and past alumni of the year honorees have also contributed to CUBE, including Stanley Grossman and Gary Rosenberg, along with trustee emeritus Robert Cattell. Our business boot camp, now in its third remarkable year, in the New York Times, don't tell anybody about it, but the New York Times is going to be doing an article in the very near future highlighting the benefits of both CUBE and boot camp. It was funded and thought of initially by trustee and alumnus John Oswald, and now is also supported by Deloitte executive Fred Curry, also an alum. Two new clinical programs are supported by alumni, ones that serves the legal needs of adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities that are funded with a $1 million grant from the Taft Foundation that was facilitated by Howard Rothman, our alum, and another clinic to serve veterans supported by trustee Tyler Korf. It's amazing. Meanwhile, we're strengthening our curriculum to make it more relevant to legal practice in the 21st century. For example, our Public Interest Public Service Fellowship Program, PIPS, is reinventing the third year to give students real-world work experience in government agencies and nonprofits and a guaranteed paid position the following year after graduation. PIPS, as we call it, was designed by Professor Stacy Kaplow, who is an associate dean for professional legal education. PIPS is the first program of its kind on the East Coast, and I can tell you that last year, when the New York City Bar Association published its report on the future of legal education and jobs for new attorneys, it highlighted and discussed PIPS as a prime example to emulate of a bridge to practice program. Stacy, thank you very much for that great program. We're hardly done. Brooklyn Law School already offers among the best legal educations in the nation, and our ambition is to continue to make it even better, and we will make it the best in areas where we have a tradition of being a leader. Is that hyperbole like the forecast of the great blizzard of 2015? After all, I did put the B and S in BLS. I think not. I only have to look out at you and think of what you have already helped us to accomplish, to know that our aspirations are attainable, and getting there will take time, persistence, and an unshakable belief in who we are. But despite any obstacles we face, we'll get there, and it'll take a little Brooklyn swagger, if you will. Remember the biblical story of Jonah, who fled from the Lord's frightening command to go to the city of Nineveh. The Lord asked them to warn the Ninevites, change or be destroyed. Jonah fled from his seemingly impossible and very risky mission, and his flight eventually landed him in the belly of a whale. But he finally heeded the call, summoned the courage to try, and succeeded in convincing the people of Nineveh to mend their ways, even though it took Jonah 3 arduous days just to walk across the enormous city of people stubbornly clinging to a path that was leading to their ruin. Like Jonah, our determination may ebb at times, and we may seek comfort in business as usual. That's a very human response. But the time for business as usual is over in the legal education world. This is the time to be smart and resolute. With your help and with our incomparable Brooklyn edge, we will be in the vanguard of legal education in the 21st century. I know you have surely read the gloom and doom news reports of the dire state of law school enrollments and the challenging job market. I frankly do not share that pessimism. Sure, I'm an optimist. When I see manure, I think pony. But I'm also a realist who knows we need good lawyers more than ever. Lawyers can respond to the rapid and fundamental changes in technology and in our increasingly global society. More than ever, we also need more good lawyers who can meet the needs of the underserved, the less advantaged. We even need lawyers to investigate what many regard as the most important and critical legal matter of our time, Deflategate. No, I'm not talking about Governor Christie's presidential campaign diet. I'm not talking about the puncturing of my overwrought ego at the roast for charity. No, you know what I'm talking about. We need lawyers for even that. I understand that Jones Day was hired actually to work on Deflategate. In short term, we're still facing many daunting challenges. Now here is where I'm specifically going to ask for your help, but in a way you may not expect. This year is not going to be any easier to build an entering class. We need your help right now. We need each and every one of you to encourage anyone you know who would be a great lawyer and a good member of the Brooklyn Law School community of scholars to consider our law school. Indeed, our best ambassadors and the best examples of a difference that a Brooklyn Law School education can make are you. I guarantee you that if every other person in the room here today convinces just one person to apply, we will once again enroll a healthy, large, great class this August. So please, I urge you to talk with your fellow alumni and your friends and your neighbors and people that you know in business and encourage qualified people to apply. We also, with your strong financial support, can strengthen our programming. We can make Brooklyn Law School more affordable and accessible to a diverse array of talented and promising students. The people in this room already are contributors, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, but now more than ever, we need your help to increase annual giving. We can do better, so please, I urge you, talk with your fellow alumni and encourage them to invest, as you already do, in our students and in the future of our law school. Every gift matters. April 2nd is going to be the date of our first ever online BLS Giving Day, and that's going to be 24 hours in which we will come together to support our law school and spread the word on social media and about why we give. All of you in the alumni body are making a huge difference and continuing to do so through our ACES program on the jobs front, and that stands for Alumni Concerned to Employing Students, Alumni Concerned to Employing Students. We're tremendously grateful to the alumni and who are dedicating their time and efforts to helping current students and fellow alumni achieve career success. You know, last year, the graduating class, the year before this one that just graduated, got to 90% of those who had graduated with terrific, solid jobs. By the time we had to report to the ABA, that's a very significant factor. We were noted as one of the leaders in the entire Northeast in that regard. And this year, I will tell you that we are already 10 percentage points ahead at this date as we were on the same date last year when we did so well. So we're very hopeful that with your support, we're going to be able to blow the doors off on helping our students find meaningful jobs. And so I thank you all in advance for your critical help. What we're doing at this law school matters. And what you are inspiring in our students is incredible. Last year, 61% contributed. 61% of the graduating students contributed. This is before they got out the door and before they had jobs. This year, the goal of the graduating class is a whopping 70% participation of the class. And I call these exemplary students our class champions, and I know some of them are here with us today. So I'll ask the champions of 2015, please stand so you can all receive a well-deserved round of applause. Go ahead, stand up. Where are you? Jared, Liz, all of you. Several over here. Mark. They're terrific. If you have occasion to travel on the subway, the number 1 subway train, which starts in Woodlawn in the Bronx and goes through the east side of Manhattan past City Hall and on to Wall Street, through Brooklyn Heights before it ends in Crown Heights, just look at the hands holding on to the poles of the people getting on and off the subway. You see the hands of people across the spectrum of races and ethnicities, black, white, brown, the whole rainbow. You see the hands of people from every walk of life and from the rich to the struggling. Those are the hands of all the people of New York City, and they're the hands of America. They're the hands of people who need good lawyers, and they're the hands of many people who may be well qualified to be lawyers who can serve society. Look how far our law school has come in meeting those needs. We've built a distinctive and distinguished legacy in which we can all take pride. Our legacy is about people. Just think of the icons who through the years have shaped our law school and have a high standard for excellence and dedication in the law. I'm very excited to announce to you today that we will celebrate a very special group of Brooklyn Law School icons with a gala event on Ellis Island on June 11th. So mark it down, June 11th, Ellis Island, be there. How fitting that this historic gateway to opportunity will be the setting for our celebration of who we are and where we're going. Stay tuned for more details, but I will share with you now the names of 2 icons who we will honor. The legendary Joe Crea, who turns 100 years young in April. And the equally charismatic, I know because he told me, Professor Richard Farrell, who is here with us today. Our gala on June 11th is sure to be an evening to remember and a fitting way to galvanize us to begin the next chapter of our history in pursuit of excellence.